Hi, I'm Mrs. Butler from Haskins School. I teach third grade, and I am going to read Chapter 13, Seventh Inning Stretch from Bat and the Waiting Game. Chapter 13. By the seventh inning stretch, Bat's whole body felt twitchy from sitting. Dad loved the seventh inning stretch. He called it a fun tradition. Bat thought of the seventh inning stretch as the earliest possible opportunity to get Dad to leave a baseball game. If the score wasn't close, sometimes Bat could convince Dad to head home after everyone finished singing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." The seventh inning stretch happened after one team had had its turn at bat, but before the other team came out to hit. All the players left the field and everyone in the stands got on their feet. The big screens lit up with the lyrics to the song, and the organ music playing loudly through the PA system. Then a little animated baseball bounced along over the words just in case anyone didn't know how the song went. Dad dropped his arm across Bat's shoulders and began to sway back and forth to the tune, swaying Bat along with him. "Take me out to the ball game," sang the crowd all around Bat. Down on the field, the mascot, a man in a giant bird costume, jumped around, waving his wings to encourage the crowd to sing louder. "If they don't win, it's a shame," boomed Dad. Bat folded his arms across his chest and wished he had his earmuffs. At last, the song was over and everyone settled back into their seats. The score Bat saw on the big lighted scoreboard was 3-2. The home team was winning. There was no way Dad would want to leave yet. Still, it was worth a try. "If we go now, we could beat the traffic out of the parking lot," Bat said. "And miss the end? No way," Dad said. "Hey, do you want another hot dog?" Bat shook his head. He had already eaten 2 hot dogs and a bunch of popcorn and was feeling slightly sick. He slumped down in his seat, resigned to staying for the rest of the game. Dad straightened the baseball cap on Bat's head, which was an exact match to the cap Dad was wearing and which Dad had just given him that day. "You know, Sport, you could try a little harder to enjoy the things I'm interested in. It's a good talent learning to appreciate other people's interests." "Well," said Bat, "you don't try very hard to appreciate my interests. You haven't even met Thor, and he's the most interesting thing in my life." Dad didn't say anything for a while. The teams jogged back onto the field and took their positions. The fielding team threw the ball around to warm up, and then the batter came to home plate, and the game started up again. Just when Bat thought that maybe Dad hadn't heard him at all, he said, "You know, Sport, you're right. I should have met that little fellow by now. I'm sorry it's taken me so long. But I'll tell you what, you let me tell you a few things about baseball and try your best to enjoy the rest of this game. And then tomorrow when I drop you off with your mom, we'll spend some time together with Thor. How does that sound?" Bat smiled. It sounded good. "Okay," Dad said as they settled back into their seats after a final visit to the concession stand. Though Bat had no more room for hot dogs, he found he could make a little space for cotton candy. "Let me tell you a few things that I love about baseball games, starting with the most important part." Here's a picture of Bat and his dad at the baseball game. The stats, Bat guessed. He knew how much Dad loved keeping track of the players' statistics, batting, pitching, fielding, base running. Dad had a whole stack of notebooks that he kept in the top drawer of his desk, dedicated to keeping track of statistics. "The stats are pretty great," Dad said, "but it's not the stats that I like best." "Is it the hats?" Bat asked. Dad had a shelf in his closet where he kept his collection of baseball caps. He liked to wear the cap of whatever team he was cheering for, whether he was at the game or watching on TV. "It's not the hats," Dad said. "The food?" "Nope." "The crowds?" "Nope." "The mascots?" Dad laughed. "It's not the mascots." "I give up," Bat said. "What's your favorite thing about baseball?" "It's this," Dad said, relaxing in his seat and putting his arm around Bat's shoulders again. "This right here, sitting next to someone I love, having a snack and something to drink, enjoying the outside air together, spending time together, being with you." Bat could point out to Dad that they could do most of these things back at the apartment or at the park. It didn't have to be at a baseball game. Technically, Dad's argument was flawed. But instead of pointing this out, Bat paid attention to the pleasant warmth and weight of Dad's arm across his shoulders. He pinched off some cotton candy and popped it into his mouth, enjoying the way it changed from fluff into melting sweetness. He looked out across the field, not trying to keep track of the players or the score. Instead, he tried to melt a little, like the cotton candy, and just be happy to be right there at the game with his dad. The moment was sweet, not quite as sweet as cotton candy, but pretty close. Thank you for reading with me. Have a good night.